Well, I bring you greetings from Michigan. I'm Eric Cardwell, the proud principal of the Besser Bulldogs in Alpena, Michigan. I currently serve as the Zone 6 Director for the states of Iowa, Michigan, and Wisconsin. It is with passion for our profession that I'm pursuing the office of Vice President of NAESP. Stop and think. Do you remember the pivotal reason why you joined NAESP? NAESP has helped me become the very best for my students. As your next Vice President, I would utilize a multifaceted approach to move our organization forward by focusing on 5 key issues relevant to our profession. First, political advocacy. NAESP seeks to create the correct message and set of solutions rather than having a solution foisted upon us. Principals across the nation need to provide real-world input into educational reform and be recognized as experts in the field. Friends, this has started with ESSA. Your voice was heard on Capitol Hill. Teddy Roosevelt said, "No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care." The second goal is about you, the principal. Our profession is built upon collaborative relationships. The more we work together, the stronger our profession. Third, for the continued success of NAESP, it is essential that we promote membership. An expansion can only be accomplished through a thorough understanding of membership demographics and by addressing the specific needs of the ever-changing role of the principal. A huge step forward in addressing these early career principals has been NAESP's Rise and Shine, where principals in their first 2 years can be part of our national panel. Mark Taylor, a principal in Burlington, Iowa, shared, "Another great thing about being involved in the panel is that it actually helped me be aware of topics to discuss with my local mentor. I'm confident that this work by NAESP to support beginning principals is important work to help further the profession." Another area of membership we need to dial in on is increasing diversity within our NAESP organization and also amongst the leadership roles. This is essential in assuring that we are representative of the demographics we serve, 60,000 principals nationwide. Finally, I believe our organization stands uniquely qualified to address 2 priorities that are near all of our hearts: the poverty and mental health issues that our children are facing across the United States. Those of you in DC last year heard me speak about the impact of poverty and what it has upon children. I continue to believe that this issue needs to be underscored in our nation's discussion, not just as an educational crisis, but as a societal crisis. The Journal of American Medical Association ran an editorial by Joan Lubby, MD, titled "Poverty's Most Insidious Damage: The Developing Brain." In it, she cites a study demonstrating that children living 1.5 times below the federal poverty level had smaller volumes of several key brain regions critical for cognitive and academic performance. Our children deserve better. There needs to be an expansion of mental health infrastructure in the United States to better serve students and families. We have witnessed this crisis firsthand. Hannah was in 1st grade last year and had multiple issues in and out of school. Her mother's pleas for addressing the mental health issues of her daughter were heard only after Hannah threw herself out of a 2nd-floor apartment. Hannah deserved better. Robert is a kindergarten student who had severe emotional issues. Over Christmas, they became so severe that the mother brought Robert to the hospital twice, and they were sent away to go back home with a child psychiatric appointment scheduled for June, 6 months away. Our children, Robert, deserves better. Maddie, who attends Michigan State University, has battled severe depression for years. In October, she was taken to Sparrow Hospital in Lansing. Imagine getting that phone call. I can. Maddie's my daughter. During the week I spent in Lansing, our family experienced firsthand the lack of access to mental health support for children, waiting a month for an appointment. When I approached Maddie about telling her story here, she said, "Dad, if it brings awareness and saves just one child, it's worth it." Maddie deserved better. NAESP can serve as a launching board to bring these issues of poverty and mental health to the forefront and begin a national discussion. It is our moral imperative that we move these issues forward for children. Again, stop and think. Do you remember the pivotal reason why you joined NAESP? Our profession is about people, and that's the secret of our association's continued success. NAESP understands this. It is this tapestry that speaks of our profession and tells our story from south to north, west to east, and everywhere in between. Thank you for being an important part of the NAESP tapestry. It would be my distinct honor to serve and advocate for you as your next Vice President of the National Association of Elementary School Principals.
Thank you, Eric. At this time, we will move on to the question and answer portion of the presentation. Eric, you will have 2 minutes to respond to the following question. When you are on the road as president representing NAESP, what do you believe will be your most important responsibility and why?
When I'm on the road representing NAESP as president, my most important responsibility would be to inspire, communicate, and engage. The power of one. Nadine Kane was my superintendent when I became a principal. She came to my office one afternoon and strongly encouraged me to go to my first state conference. Of course, I balked because it was my first year and I firmly believed that the building would fall down without me there. She refused to take no as an answer, and I went to my first conference. And I'm here to say, if there hadn't been a Nadine Kane, I would not be standing before you now. Who is your Nadine Kane? Each of us today do not stand here simply as individuals, but we stand here as a summation of all the people who have touched our lives. The work we do as principals is rewarding but difficult work. My charge, our charge, is to be that power of one, to create a ripple effect in a principal's life, to be a game changer in their career, to let them know that they're not alone in the field and provide encouragement to not be just another member, but to actively participate within their state and their national associations. While president in Michigan, I traveled in excess of 40,000 miles, meeting with colleagues and gaining perspective. This has continued as Zone 6 director. Kyle Walsh in Hollandale, Wisconsin emailed me and he said, "Thanks for reaching out. It's nice to hear that the results are being used by policymakers, since honestly, I never believed they actually listened to anyone in the profession. This has been a great resource for me, and in my first year, having more people and places to turn has been really great." Doug Hibbs in Burton, Michigan said, "I appreciate any support that NAESP can give. We're actually working on getting my staff to keep a growth mindset and work with students of high poverty. Also, in the Flint area, working with the water issue has been another big mountain to climb." So to foster the critical areas of communication and engagement, I will continue to use Twitter, Facebook, as well as blogging, but most importantly is that direct human contact. I'll contact a minimum of 5 principals each week to hear their stories of success and challenges and ways in which our organization can support them. We all have the potential to be that power of one to create that ripple effect.
Thank you, Eric. Now we'll move on to the second question. This one, he has a choice to choose. We have 3 questions in here. He will choose one randomly. He knows only the nature of this question, not the actual question. The question Eric is going to respond to: if you had an opportunity to address our U.S. Congress on a topic related to education, what topic would you choose and why?
I think there are a couple of different issues. First is I think that our support for beginning principals is critical. As we already spoke, we have some infrastructure that's in place. 56% of our school administrators have 0 to 5 years of experience. And I think the reality is the burnout rate is quite high, so we need to look at ways in which we can support them, not just our associations, but as well as Congress. Another issue in addressing Congress would be, as I alluded to earlier, the mental health and poverty issue. That is huge right now. And it's not a question or an answer that we can solve solely as educators. It is going to take several agencies to help put that in the forefront. I was speaking with one of our CMH workers in Michigan about that, trying to gain perspective, and I will tell you what, they were excited to have somebody from the educational field engage them because they feel the frustration. This CMH worker had 70 clients on a caseload. I want you to think about that, 70 clients. How is that doing justice for our kids? It is a Band-Aid approach, and we need to address that. Now that is for outpatient services. Now for visiting the homes, their caseloads are as large as 17, and that is covering a 4-county area in my area. Now I also understand from talking with principals across the nation, this isn't isolated to just Michigan. This is a U.S. crisis, and we need to address it, and I would love to address Congress on that issue as well as the poverty piece.
Thank you very much, Eric. Best wishes to you.